and welcome to Wake Up and Live with the Arts. It's something that we love doing around here. My name is James McGilvray, and I'm here with Gary Webster, whom you all know. And we're going to be talking with someone very special to the organization, to our friends here, to the Wake Up and Live Actors Studio, and to our Cleveland community. Our special guest right now is Ms. Felicia Webster. And Felicia, so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Just want to mention that Gary and Felicia are not related, but that's still the joke that
not that we're aware of anyway.
As far as we know. But we are related as friends, brothers and sisters in the arts. And Felicia is a producer, a writer, a performer. And I had the privilege of meeting her when a fellow actor recommended me for a role in a work that she was producing, a piece called Foul Ball. And I think that's as perfect a place to start as any. Felicia, tell me, what was this thing that you got me involved in called Foul Ball that I had so much fun with?
Okay, well, Foul Ball is actually an internet soap opera. It runs in 5-minute increments, and it was a little bit challenging initially to put it together because I'm used to doing 1-hour social type screen and telewriting. And so coming up with the characters, which is usually my favorite thing to do, is the character development, as you probably, well, you know,
Absolutely.
Because of your character. But,
character is one way of saying it.
But it was a lot of fun to develop, and I'm really excited. And in fact, actually today, I have a contact, an ex-athlete in Bermuda, who wants to be brought into it. And actually, he's talking to me about getting us out there in Bermuda land on radio. So
Very nice.
I'm really excited about that, to create a character that would fit him. And he's ex-athlete politician, so that should be pretty easy to do.
Well, with where you are now and all of the exciting work that you've been doing, give us a little bit of a background. Who is Felicia Webster? Are you from here originally, and what kinds of things have you done leading up to now?
Okay, I am originally from here.
Cleveland.
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the Ludlow community, which I'm very proud of. I think it's a wonderful place to have been brought up in. Wonderful, helped prepare me for the world. And I'm just relocating after 20 years. So it's been a real adventure, and I'm glad to be back.
Now, as a writer, I am compelled to ask, and this is really for my own information, but I'm always fascinated to find out from other writers. When did you start writing? When did you realize you had the ability and the desire to do that?
I actually started writing in the 7th, 8th grade. I think I was bored with what was happening in the classroom, and I became a Webster renegade. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but in my household, we have artists who I think my whole family is quite talented and brilliant, and especially in terms of the art world. And so they all had something. Almost, well, my 3 brothers could all draw very well, like my dad. My dad was a writer as well. I couldn't draw a straight line, but I could write. And I started, instead of doing my homework at night, sometimes I would write this. I created this story, and I'd come in at lunchtime and read it off to my friends in kind of soap opera style. They wanted to know what was going to happen next, so the next day I kind of shared what was happening next, and it was full of teenage suspense and drama, if you can imagine.
Well, and you got started, you took off for 20 years. You went, I believe, to Los Angeles and to Atlanta.
Yes.
And also to Florida.
Yes, Fort Myers, Florida.
Now, what actually brought you back to Cleveland?
A need to take over the raising of my 9-year-old niece, who is now my daughter, and her name is Azalea.
Give Azalea a little shout out.
Hello, Azalea. Actually, she came here. I came to one of your shows previously and brought her with me so that she could see the set and see the show. And she was very excited, although she was upset with me for not allowing her to dress up for the occasion. But she is actually going to be involved in one of my projects. Over the summer, I took her to camp one morning, and they say that driving in the car with your child is an important time for conversation. And she said some things to me that really shook me up. And I decided I would come up with this idea of a show called Azalea's Fourth Grade Adventures. And so it's going to be mostly animation, but it'll be about conflict resolution for a fourth grader and other things that fourth graders go through. So it's I've been talking to her about it, trying to get her used to it. She's kind of, oh, TV, oh no, but she's a big ham, so I expect her to get over that really quick.
James, I know we'll get into Felicia's projects in just a moment, but this is something that you've just described to us that is in keeping with the biographical information that I received, is that your projects have a seriousness of tone and nature to them. You are obviously trying to accomplish something with your projects. And what do you have in mind when you set out to do something of this nature?
I really, it is fun, but it's also, it's important to me that I put out a message that something happens. Like I was saying about the character development, it's important to have well-rounded characters, but it's also important to me that you see the character move from point A to B. I like to talk about it as if you don't want to see paper dolls, you want to see Barbie. You want to see a three-dimensional individual or character when you're observing, whether it's a play, a TV show,
or
a
even
book,
live people, like the people in the cave.
Yes, or visiting the cave, yes.
Well, in fact, tell the people about the cave.
Okay, Visiting the Cave is a show I've created, and basically it's featuring men. It's a talk show that features men, and there are a whole boatload of serious topics to be discussed. And I'm very excited about Visiting the Cave right now in particular because I'm going to be starting to shoot the pilot at the end of this month. So we should be complete with the pilot in October.
So then, are you encouraging people to go to a website to
Absolutely.
look at it? Let us know, what is that site?
Visiting the Cave, we are developing the website right now as we speak. We've got a fan page and a group page on Facebook, and I would suggest you go to that because I'm going to start featuring cavemen in the next week, who are going to be a part of the pilot and kick off a lot of the discussion that will be a part of that pilot discussion and then future conversations for future shows.
Now, given that we're about to wrap up here, I want to make sure that we give you an opportunity to let people know what websites you have that are going to be of relevance. There's the Global Productions website.
Yes, there's globalvisionproductions.com.
Okay.
Foul Ball actually has its own website, which is foulballsoap.com. And Visiting the Cave, I don't have that website up yet, but if you go to Global Vision Productions, or if you go to the Visiting the Cave fan page, I'll have all that information there for you.
Well, this has just been way too short. It's such a pleasure to have gotten to know just a little bit about you. And of course, what we'll do is make sure that those websites are on the screen so that people can know where to go, to look up the information, to find out a little bit more about Felicia Webster. Felicia, best wishes, good luck on everything, and I'm looking forward to continuing to be a part of some of the wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.